The CEO of Xpeng in China, the global CEO, he says that over the next couple of years, he's basically revealing that car companies will go bankrupt or be forced to do what Nissan has just been forced to do with Honda and Mitsubishi, essentially accept a hostile takeover. You're going to see fireworks, guys, over the next few years. The CEO of Xpeng is seeing this all play out. He's seeing the numbers. This guy is, I'm telling you, he's much smarter than probably you and I are put together. And this is going to result in billions of dollars of losses, potentially billions of dollars of gains, but I see a lot more loss than gain over these next few years of consolidation. Consolidation, it's a nice way to put it, isn't it? It's a really nice way to put it. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you for supporting us on YouTube as a member or supporting us on Patreon. I'll put a link in the description below to both those pages. I really appreciate your support. Xpeng CEO He Yaopeng, he's come out and said, industry will enter an elimination round. Elimination round from this year until 2027. He's saying over the next 2 years, it's elimination round time. You know what this reminds me of? Squid Game. Elimination round. You know, when everyone's getting shot, that's the elimination round. Basically line up these automakers, just shooting bullets at them. Bang, you're dead. Bang, Mitsubishi, you're dead. Bang, Mazda, you're dead. You know, Nissan, oh, you've joined with Honda. You've got a couple more years. Maybe you'll get until 2027. Yeah, I don't know, but this is going to be chaos, right? It's going to be crazy. Xpeng CEO says that competition within the auto sector will be even more heated in 2025, and he is right. Look at all these new entrants from China. Guys, I just did a top 10 list. I'm looking at this top 10 list thinking to myself, look at all these cars these guys are selling. Their cars are better than legacy automakers' cars. They're cheaper, and they're growing. They're growing at an average of more than 100% per year. All these top 10 brands, all these top 10 companies in China, that's freaking scary when you're their rivals and your sales are declining. Xpeng CEO has revealed this information in an internal letter that the industry will face an elimination round from 2025 to 2027. He says most Chinese car makers won't survive the next decade. Most of them won't survive the next decade. You know, the crazy thing is, he's not the only one saying this. I mean, we've got experts around the world saying this. Michael Dunn saying this. Sandy Munro saying the same thing. It's a consensus. Even, you know what, even Jim Farley from Ford saying this. Elon Musk is saying this. It's a pretty well a foregone conclusion, I'd say. Competition within the automotive industry will become even more cutthroat in the years ahead, said Xpeng's CEO in a letter to his company's staff last month. The period from 2025 to 2027 marks the elimination round in the automotive industry, he said. Competition in 2025 will be fiercer than ever. In 2024, Xpeng delivered 190,000 cars, which was a 34% increase from the 141,000 vehicles it delivered in 2023. The company's vice chairman and president, Brian Gu, said in March that Xpeng is on track to achieve profitability at some point in 2025. I don't know if that's going to happen, but if that does happen, it would mean Xpeng are one of a tiny number of automakers in the world that are making a profit selling only EVs. They would join Tesla. Remember, more than 50% of BYD sales are still internal combustion vehicles. They are. They're plug-in hybrids, but they're also internal combustion cars. And BYD has always made a profit selling those types of cars. Other manufacturers have as well. Mitsubishi makes a profit selling those. Many companies that Toyota does. Toyotas are mostly just hybrids, not plug-in hybrids. But anyhow, you see my point. It would mean that only Xpeng and Tesla are the two car companies in the world making a profit selling EVs. But remember as well, Goldman Sachs said that over the next 12 months, battery pack prices will fall by nearly 50%. This will give more companies selling EVs the ability to undercut their legacy automaker rivals who are selling predominantly, 90% of their car sales are internal combustion. Xpeng CEO actually made similar statements on the automotive industry's outlook last year. And, well, he had some good points. I mean, Mitsubishi left China altogether. Nissan was in crisis. They admitted that they would be finished if they didn't find an investor, and they found Honda to save them. Then you've got there's two other Chinese major manufacturers in China that went bankrupt last year. In November, the Xpeng founder CEO said in an interview with Singaporean newspaper, The Straits Times, that most Chinese car makers won't survive the next decade. From 300 startups, only 100 of them survived, he said. Today, there are fewer than 50 companies that still exist, and only 40 of them are actually selling cars every year. Only 40 car manufacturers, right? That is still way too many. I personally think that there will only be 7 major car companies that will exist in the coming 10 years. He didn't say who they're going to be, obviously. I think we can safely assume one of them will be BYD. I think it's safe to assume another one of them will be Tesla. The others, intriguing. Obviously, Xpeng CEO is hoping that his car company will be one of them as well. We'll see. In March, he told Singaporean broadcaster CNA that the Chinese EV industry will see a knockout tournament in the next 3 to 4 years, followed by an all-star competition in the next 7 to 8 years. But it sounds to me like more like, like some sort of game show where the contestants just get killed and they're dead and that's it. You just have to bury a grave and, write Nissan on the front of it, right? Write Volkswagen on the front of the grave. To be sure, he's not the only auto executive who expects intense competition in the industry. In October, Mercedes-Benz CEO Ola Källenius told attendees at the Berlin Global Dialogue Conference that Western automakers are fighting an existential battle against their Chinese counterparts. It's strange. It's a Darwinistic price war, market purification, and many of those players that are around now, many of those are not going to be around 5 years from now, Källenius said. What are your thoughts? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Because of a huge contraction in sales in China, legacy automakers are shutting down some factories in the country. But here's the thing. Most of these factories, it has been confirmed by Chinese sources, are running at under 60% capacity utilization. That means that they're running at a loss. You can't hire all these staff, have all the cost, the electricity costs, and everything else that goes into running a factory. When that factory is producing half the number of cars it has or was designed to do so. As the sales of vehicles from legacy automakers falls in China, the cost to produce each one continues. It grows. It's like the opposite of Moore's law. Every doubling of production, there is a 20% reduction in price. Well, the same thing applies if you go in reverse. So Chinese automakers are taking market share from legacy manufacturers at a remarkable pace. This disruption is happening. Western media are pretending it's not for some strange reason. General Motors has lost money in China for 3 successive quarters. We're talking